Jerry O'Hara remembers a time period when the Vietnam vets were not treated with respect or honor.
I'm told a simple solution is just to take some room temperature water and pour it along the ceiling.
The idea of this event is to bring families and friends together for the holiday season.
Put down that cell phone. We've all seen the scenario play out at restaurants. Everyone on their phones.
From produce to protein and everything in between, prices are as high as they've been all year, and they're only expected to continue climbing.
Anytime you make a personal transaction, your information could be stolen.
There was no way of even knowing about Yahoo's email security breach because Yahoo never sent out an official notification to its users in the first place, leaving your account information at risk. Republicans can actually expect to win a slight majority of millennials at the polls tomorrow. Let's just take a look at these numbers. Young people still favor a Democratic-led Congress, 50 to 43%. But for voters who say they will definitely vote tomorrow, the number jumps to 51% in favor of Republicans. A major shift could be coming for a common voting trend.
Are we going to vote?
Millennial votes are expected to be up for grabs in the midterm elections. The 18 to 29 age group has historically voted majority Democrat, but that may not be the case tomorrow.
It's a long time coming.
Wes Fisher is the chairman of the College Republicans at JMU. He says the vote swing comes down to a lack of progress.
The failed policies of Barack Obama and senators across America, like Mark Warner here in Virginia, have not been beneficial to young people.
The director of the Harvard Youth Poll believes the recession 6 years ago and the gridlock in Congress last year could be weighing heavily on young voters.
The least you can hope for is to be able to have a government that's governing for the people and representing the best interests of Americans. And right now, that's not what's happening.
Only a quarter of millennials are expected to vote tomorrow, something College Democrat President Megan DeMilo is keeping in mind.
Millennials still prefer Democrats in Congress. So having those two basically be opposite of each other, whether you're definitely voting or just the general public, I think is kind of an interesting way to look at it.
DeMilo says it's important for millennials to understand the role they play in these elections because the candidates are looking at them as an opportunity for swing votes.
That will encourage our generation to kind of step into the political sphere and have more of a voice in that.
Voices that will be heard in just a matter of hours. Now, one thing to note, President Barack Obama won the millennial vote in a landslide in the 2012 presidential election. His approval rating with young people now is down to 43%. The Cross to Life is a nonprofit ministry prepared to help human trafficking victims through spiritual aid and education. Their plan is to help have a place of refuge available for victims and provide them with any counseling or help that they may need to get through times of hardship.
Sometimes when we get hurt as a child or as an adult, we hold it in. But if we can take that hurt and turn it around and help someone else, that's the miracle of the bad things that happen in life, is to help someone else through it.
Abused as a child, Deborah Shoemaker considers it a dream come true to work on a project rescuing and restoring female victims of human trafficking.
I've never farmed in my life, so it was kind of a crazy thing.
A crazy ambition born from a vision. Dennis Taylor is the founder of the Cross to Life Farm Ministry. He says this project was put upon him as an act of God. Now, the ministry will use recently purchased farmland to build a shelter that will open by the summer.
Once we become nonprofit and really start receiving funding, then we can start housing rescued victims right away.
Taylor is using this time to reach out to area churches for support and prepare fundraising efforts. So far, feedback has been positive for a project that means so much to him.
For us to be able to have a part of that is truly a blessing of, reaching out, trying to help girls get rescued from just the awful situations that they're placed in. And that's really, you can't think of a better time for that to take place than right here at Christmas.
Helping girls out through spiritual healing, and there's no better time to lend a hand than the Christmas season. And now moving forward, their goal is to have the shelter open by this summer. And for more information, or if you'd like to help donate, we have the link on our website. Just click on this story at WHSV.com.
All right, Nick, thanks so much.
VDOT is hard at work making preparations for the busiest travel day of the year. That's tomorrow, the day before Thanksgiving. The Traffic Operations Center is where all of the action happens, and they're making sure that your trip is a safe one. Overnight rain will become morning snow. Whether you're traveling by plane, train, or automobile, conditions could prevent you from getting to your destination on time. I spoke with Greg Campbell at the Shenandoah Valley Regional Airport, and he told me delays could happen on Wednesday, but there is some flexibility in changing your scheduled flight. With Amtrak, the last trains leaving Stanton before the holiday is at 1:37 tomorrow afternoon. As for driving, VDOT Communications Specialist Ken Slack says the earlier you leave, the better. He also suggests being extra cautious on bridges and overpasses.
Those elevated surfaces will have cold air that is beneath them as well as above them, and that's why they freeze more quickly. So you really have to be careful of those kinds of surfaces and secondary roads that may not have as much of the chemical treatment as, say, an interstate or a primary road.
VDOT has provided information for preparations and precaution to keep you safe. You can find that information on our web channel at WHSV.com. In Stanton, Nick Payne, WHSV.